Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon, where you can do so for as little as $5 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Fraser, or Daveen Owen.
And I'm Jessica, or Mercer Stitch.
I'm Lynn, or Emily.
And I am Jason Smith, or North.
Well, congratulations. Seems like you earned it. So anyway, what do we want to start with today?
Announcements? You got anything?
Yeah. They're on the...
oh, well, let me just...
Some of them were obviously more relative than other. I can tell you, for starters, that there's no point in bringing up the Trash Bash tomorrow because this will release after that.
Okay, and then maybe we'll just talk about the next Trash Bash. The one after this Trash Bash is probably going to be taking place at the property, which goes along with the other announcement, is that electric is on at the property. So, woo! Yes! Yay! Finally! And so we're going to actually be moving the podcast pretty soon, too. Probably within 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be doing the podcast out there. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Are we not welcome here anymore? Is that what's going on?
I didn't say that.
That's how it feels.
Well,
She did say that.
So to be fair, the property is closer.
I'll just put it this way. There's one person at this table that isn't necessarily welcome to come here anytime they want to. And I'll let you guys figure out which one of you it is.
It's got to be North.
She said guys. Does that disqualify?
What about doctors? Do they count?
You're all people.
Yes, but we did establish that animals are not people last week. Mm-hmm. We had a whole conversation about it.
They're better.
Yes, not relative to what we were talking about, though.
True.
And aliens, not people.
What if they're like shapeshifters?
It's a monster.
Like an alien that just shifts into human form?
I mean, if you
they're not a people?
Is people automatically connected to humans? Like
it's
humans?
A species thing.
Yeah, because if you have a mannequin, it looks like a person, but it's not a people.
So like multiple humans is people? Why is it a species thing?
It just is.
Okay.
I feel like we got off track a little bit.
Like
we always get off track.
We've never met animals or anything that we would call a people.
No, I haven't.
What if they got like really smart and had personalities?
I think they would have to be sentient for starters, and they're not.
Animals?
Yeah.
Define sentient.
I mean,
able to understand and communicate with humans.
Oh, that's a bull definition.
It's my definition.
Communicate with humans?
I mean, what about a person in like a
dogs
coma?
communicate with
it's not
humans.
able to communicate with humans.
That's not sentient. They're not conscious.
So when you sleep, you're not human? You're not sentient?
When you're unconscious?
Can you sleep? Can you sleep talk? If you could sleep talk, then maybe you are sentient.
Can I talk back to you and you understand when you're sleeping?
Maybe. I've never sleep talked. So I guess when I sleep, I'm not sentient.
How do you know that? You're unconscious.
That's true. I don't know.
True.
There's probably like a 99% chance that I'm not.
Well, how are you coming up with those statistics?
They were there.
And I don't snore because I've never heard it.
That's fair. Has anyone ever told you snored?
Yes.
What's the probability of that being true?
He's a liar.
99%.
Okay.
Unless it's the cat snoring whenever.
She does purr loud.
Super loud purr.
My husband will have whole conversations with me and not remember a single bit of it. He'll sit up and look at me. He'll sit up and look at me, and I'll have a whole conversation with him, and he remembers nothing. Sometimes he'll talk in his sleep, and I'll start talking back to him, like joining in his conversation. He's like, I'm Team Burrito. Like, what are you talking
that's
about?
fair.
It's like
though.
a fun conversation.
Yeah.
He talks about random crazy stuff in his sleep. It's weird.
I'm kind of jealous. I'd like to be
Yeah,
Team
I would,
Burrito.
I would try to argue with him.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd be like, no,
no,
you're
Team
not.
Taco for
Yeah,
sure.
Team Taco, bro.
Yeah.
And just see if he gets
Like, does he actually
irritated.
respond to you? Like when he?
Oh yeah.
Team
Wow.
nachos.
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
would have
awesome.
some fun with that.
Yeah.
Though I've heard you're not supposed to wake up a sleepwalker.
He doesn't sleepwalk. He just talks. He'll sit up, but
It's the same
Oh, he's
deal.
asleep sitting
If
upper.
he's asleep, you're not supposed to mess with that situation.
no.
Yeah, you just
I've
let
woke
him
him up
walk
like that
right out the
before.
window.
Yeah, even if they're in
Mhm.
danger, let him go
Yeah.
And one time I had a whole conversation with him about the best character on
and
Twilight.
just yell at him. This
What
is
was
on
his
you.
What was his answer?
Oh, he's Team Jacob.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They're
I hated
all-
Jacob.
They're all awful.
Actually, I really didn't like many of them. Like all the main characters kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Even Bella was the worst.
I don't voluntarily put on Twilight, but if I go downstairs and it's on TV, I'm done. I'm watching it.
You're
after
watching
that.
it?
Yeah.
Twilight?
It just sucks me in.
It caused me physical pain.
Physical
what
pain.
No,
My favorite part is when he's
no.
like, climb onto my back, spider monkey. It's my favorite part. You remember that part?
Yeah.
It's a great part.
Ah,
Thanks.
Anyway, so do we have any other announcements?
No, that's it.
are you sure?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Wow.
We had the discussion about sloughing.
Oh, there it is. Announcement.
Oh, different sloughing.
Did you want to talk about the thing that you wanted to talk about as far as like walking in between people?
I put it in the suggestions.
Do you want to wait for that? We don't have a whole lot.
Okay, we
Or
can
do you
wait
wanna
for
do
that
that
Want to
first?
just go ahead and do those?
Yeah, let's knock it out of the way. So we're going to start with the suggestion box. The thing about sloughing, before we move on to that, it kind of
Okay.
ties into this a little bit, is that we have noticed a lot more people on the field sloughing hits, which basically just means ignoring hits. Usually we don't get involved. We don't intervene at all unless they are like arguing. And then as marshals, we may step in and be like, hey, what's going on here? And then like we just do our best to try to make it even as possible based on what each person said, especially if we didn't see it. And of course, if we've seen it, then we just go with whatever we think we saw, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But as a rule, we don't usually get involved unless there's like an active dispute or
A
something.
conflict of some kind. Mm-hmm.
But we might start doing that more if people can't start taking their hits, because some people are not taking their hits. We've observed it, and they're also not getting reported or any. And it could be that maybe the people they're fighting are trying to give them the benefit of the doubt or something. But I feel like I've seen people not take hits, and it's become a little bit more of a pattern. And like you were saying earlier, that's one of the whole reasons why we took winning XP out, is for people to be less competitive. There's no reason for people to slough hits. If you're ignoring a hit, you're not getting any better because you got hit. So like you're not forcing yourself to try to like improve at all. And like there's no point really in sloughing a hit. Like even if you win, you don't win any extra XP or anything, and everybody's going to get mad at you for being somebody who sloughs hits. And
True.
I would say that especially applies to people who are on the verge of getting extra disciplinary action taken towards them because they have been reported in the past several times. So if that's you, take your hits. If it's not, then I'm not talking about you.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you.
All right, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Stop taking your hits.
Maybe.
Okay. And then, do we want to open on it, or do we want to close on the joke? We got a joke.
Yep. I'll talk about my stuff next
Okay.
if you want.
There you go.
So I put this in here just so that I could remember to talk about it on the podcast. But you shouldn't be walking between two people that are engaged in combat as a ghost. If you die on the field, you bleed out, you're on your way to the res point, go around the people that are still alive. Especially whenever you're in team events, because I witnessed it today and I know from looking at it that this person saw what was going on and just walked through the middle of it. It's inappropriate behavior for a player.
It's unsportsmanlike, yeah.
Yeah, not inappropriate in like a sexual way, but inappropriate in like
How would
you're
it
not
possibly-
carrying yourself.
Never mind.
Well, because he said the way he said it was weird. Like it made it sound like I was going somewhere else. But anyways, it is unsportsmanlike, and you shouldn't be doing that. Just don't go around them.
That's fair. And I agree.
Yeah, I agree too, especially in a game like today with Capture the Flag, especially if you die by the flag. Like, yeah, you're supposed to do your roleplay death, but it'd be a lot cooler if you like, stumbled out of way from the flag just a little bit before you died. That way you don't get stepped on, and everybody's not worried about trying to step on you or whatever. In fact, there was one player that kind of got stepped on a little bit, but they're okay. But it's okay to stumble away from the flag point a little ways to make sure you're not in the middle of the stuff, like in the middle of the battle, so you don't get stepped on, and so the other people aren't getting put at a disadvantage because they're trying not to step on you. Like if they're trying not to step on you and then they get stabbed, they're like, well, I was just trying to be nice, and like, here, I'm dead now. So
True. I'm saying true a lot. It's true dat is what I'm supposed to say, right?
yes.
Well, and what
True
I
that.
was talking about is just people that are ghosts in general. Like you've already done your role play, you've already bled out, you're on your way to the res. As a ghost, you have the ability to walk around people. You don't have to make a straight line. And then
And I was saying, as even bleeding out, that becomes a little bit of
Right.
an issue too.
right. And then the other
Can be. That was it.
the other thing that I saw today that just needs to be reminded for people, whenever you're at the portal and you're rezzing, you need to wait until the music completely stops before you exit the portal whenever you res, because some people will stand there with like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and it'll be 3 seconds before it's done, and they're like and just take off. Like they're jumping out early. So you need to make sure that you're staying until the sound completely stops, and then you can exit the res point.
Is it okay to stick your foot out? Like, as long as you stay there until
That's
it's
how I
completely
do
done?
it. But as soon as
Okay.
it's done, I'm gone.
I like
Yeah.
to move my feet. So. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can put 1 foot in, 1 foot out until it completely.
And you shake it all
And do the
about.
hulky, yeah.
Yep.
Do the hulky pokey.
The hulky pokey?
I don't know. It just came out like that.
Okay.
He is green.
I would imagine like you have to smash something. It's like the hulky pokey.
Just like
That
smash.
didn't land.
I feel like
That's
this,
fine.
I need to trademark this or something.
The
The
hokey
hulky
pokey.
pokey.
Is it pokey? So it rhymes, or just hokey pokey?
Hulky pokey.
Anyway,
Okay.
you got something else over there? Do you want me to
Yeah.
do this? Do you feel confident in this?
Oh, I got this.
Okay, let's see what you got. You've been
It
working
says-
on your delivery?
Oh, yes. It says, my wife left a note on the fridge. Quote, this isn't working. I'm leaving. I opened it. The fridge works just fine. Get it? You're welcome.
Pretty funny.
That's
Thank you for the suggestion.
That's in line with the toilet running. Is your toilet running? You better go catch it. Or
I've heard that
your
with
nose running.
no, it's refrigerator.
Yeah, it's refrigerator.
Oh
I think.
yeah, never mind.
You
That's
kinda-
the fridge too, man. It's all the fridge.
You butchered that.
Well, my toilet was running the first month I
Right.
moved into my apartment.
Really?
Probably
And my
why you
water
thought
bill
that.
was my water bill was double.
I have heard there's water running out of my toilet, and like people put water bottles like in a line in the bathroom, like out of the toilet, and I was like, that's kind of funny.
Oh,
Like inside shoes.
Mm-hmm.
that's weird.
What?
That's
There's
a lot of
water
work.
running out of the toilet?
Yeah,
and
or
you just-
there's a leak in my sink, and somebody literally puts a leak like in their sink. That's funny.
I think a lot of people would not know what a leek is.
Pretty funny.
I think it's funny.
Look it up. It's a vegetable.
What kind of vegetable?
I don't know.
Is it a
Cruci-
root
is
vegetable?
No,
root?
it's
It's a tuber.
Is it cruciferous?
No, tubers are potatoes.
They're the only kind of tuber?
No, but I mean, like that's
Oh,
what
Okay.
Oh,
kind.
now,
They're
now
like
what type
They
of
don't
vegetable is
own-
it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's why I was asking.
No?
leek is an alum.
Oh, okay. It's a garlic species.
Yeah, like
Okay,
onions.
Yeah.
The fact that you know that is wild to me. It's just like weird knowledge. But thank you. An alum.
Alum, yeah.
Okay.
A-L-U-M.
I do a lot of research because I don't know. I dream of being a homesteader,
Hmm.
so I just learn a lot of stuff about crazy things.
That was
I missed it.
Okay.
I'll
So
raise
that was
ankles.
the that was the suggestions. That's all we had.
Yep, that's it. To be fair, we didn't have the suggestion box sitting out today. It was a weird suggestion box delivery system we had going on today, so that's probably why we had less.
And also, kind of an important update, at least in my opinion, we specifically asked people if they had any issues with Capture the Flag today to note them. No notes about
True.
Capture the Flag.
Yeah,
so
true.
I guess it was fairly successful then.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Recap?
Recap it is. Let's recap it up.
Okay.
We probably should have done this before, but just to be clear, today was the 3rd of December, 2023. We started the day with Last Man Standing, as always.
Yeah.
And that was a good time. Looks like in third place today was Heston Iverson.
Oh, back in the top 3 again.
Yeah, he's making his way back. Number 2 was Trinity. And in first place today was Lord Valnier. So all things.
Yep. All spears too. Well, not. I mean,
No.
Heston has a staff.
A staff, but
it was all 3 of them standing.
all
off.
like rangy weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I tried my best, you know. I just lost.
I made a kill, which I'm excited about.
Hey.
It might have been a stab in the back, but I made
A kill's a kill.
So
A kill's a kill.
I was proud. I'd like to bring that up.
Is that your first kill?
Yeah, I mean, it might be my like 8th or something. Pretty good.
Are you counting
Oh,
them?
good job.
I'm tattooing them on my back.
Nice. There was.
Little tick marks.
I realize this is probably not relative at all, but there was a time when somebody was trying to go for Lord kills, and they would literally put like little pieces of tape like on their shield for every time they killed a Lord. It was very cool. That was a long time ago, though.
Was it you?
No.
No.
I was probably one of the marks on their shield at some point, but it wasn't me.
I feel like I remember that, but I'm. Okay,
I think
it doesn't matter.
I want to say it was Ulbrich, but I could be
Maybe.
wrong. I
That
could be just
I mean,
making
that
stuff.
sounds
It
like
sounds
it.
like something he would
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But anyway, that was Last Man Standing.
Well, congratulations to those 3.
Yeah. Congratulations to everybody who participated, but specifically those 3, you guys did a good job.
Oh, thanks.
Did you participate in that?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Are you ready?
Sure. And then for the next one, we played Capture the Flag, which was kind of a carryover from a couple weeks ago because we had rolled it on the random roll thing.
The
And so-
random roll thing.
Yeah,
You want to explain
we
that
have
at all?
like
or
a
just-
piece of paper that we roll, and whatever it lands on, that's what we play. We use that to decide what games to play because that's a little less biased, basically, instead. So we're not playing the same games over and over and avoiding certain games. That way, when we play those games that we would normally avoid, we can make them better, and then we would maybe want to play them more. So, is the idea. So yeah, we played Capture the Flag, and it looks like
I would just go over the winning team personally. And this is just the starting team. Obviously, that flip-flopped a little bit as the game went on, but
well, that would be Ditch because I think this one stayed, right? Capture the Flag.
yeah, I'm crazy.
Okay. So the winning team was Valnier. He was the captain. And then it was Takimura, or Lord Valnier, I guess. Takimura, Karov, Sarvok, Torvald, Raven, and Lynn.
Congratulations, Lynn. Yeah. And everyone
I
else
helped. I feel
who's
like
not
I
here.
was the majority of the team.
You think
I
so?
feel like yeah.
Did you get
I
a kill
helped.
during that?
I think so. Yeah.
It was one of your 8?
I killed my lord. Yeah, Wilhelm.
You did make it to the other flag once.
I did. I started touching on the lock,
Oh, did you actually get to where you were trying to
Yeah.
unlock it or whatever?
and then they called me back. I was like,
What do you think about how that game works, since that's your first foray into that game? What do you think?
I like it. I do think people like try harder. It was fun.
Do you like the idea of having a timer in that game so if it goes too long?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I could see where like 10 minutes felt super long.
So that game ended up being less than 20 minutes, I think. Maybe it was right at 20 minutes. It just seems so much longer because they're fighting the entire time.
And I think that does fix one of the main problems. What we've done with this game now does fix a lot of one of the main problems, which is people would just grab the flag and go, which now they can do, but they can't unless they have the lock completely unlocked. So,
Right.
Because we were slowing them, like you were saying in the beginning, and trying different stuff. But I think the lock idea does help a lot.
Yep,
Because then
I agree.
they have to defend. They have to sit there. They have to get to the flag. And unless everybody else just happens to be dead, like all the enemy team, they're going to need to get there with somebody else to protect them, to have enough time to actually get the flag out of there without having to deal with people coming out of the res point, which I think is the idea.
I'd like to shout out to Karov because like he was trying it with his nose. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
good
yeah.
role play,
Dedication.
which I know you heard, but I did ultimately decide to give some martial role play experience today. Excuse me. Specifically to Karov because I thought his role play deaths during, I guess it was Capture the Flag, was awesome. Like every single time he like was very emphatic with his death and like fell down to his knees, and I was like, that's just really cool. Like I felt like far and away the best role play deaths out of everybody for the day And so I decided to reward him with extra XP.
Cool.
He beat your deaths.
I'll let it slide this time.
Okay.
Tearing
I'll have to
your
try
pants for
harder
nothing.
next time.
Yeah. That's how you should look at it, right? You just do better.
Your pants begs you not to try harder.
I already got the knees ripped out of these, and they're pretty new. So
Well, if only you had, like, somebody that could fix them for you, you know? Somebody that was handy with a needle or...
Like himself, because
Not-
all humans have arms and
You?
fingers. Well, most.
Me?
maybe
Yeah.
the person
No,
was
no, not me.
Stitch. Maybe the person was Stitch.
Maybe.
In their name.
Yeah. Something like that. Somebody who was kind of the tailor of the town, maybe.
Right. Maybe.
I'm
Maybe.
not saying anybody specific, just if they fit that description, maybe you should talk to them.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
Okay.
Maybe you should. So anyway,
Well, I heard that they're not taking orders right now, so
well, this would be like a freebie situation.
Maybe you heard wrong.
Yeah, maybe you did hear
I
wrong.
mean, there are these things
maybe.
like called knee pads.
Yeah,
Just,
I'm surprised he doesn't have a pair of those already.
I do have a pair.
I've got a few under the sink. I don't know that they're made for your knees, but
And they're not knee pads.
at least she gets what I'm talking about.
stick them right on there.
I'm lost.
Did you say?
I'm
Females watching.
a
Dumbass.
I think
is
I
what it is.
understand, but
It's okay.
anyway,
It is what it is.
moving on.
Yeah. Scramble.
Eggs?
I had some of those this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 of
So
them
did I.
with some salsa. For real? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, I woke up. Lynn had made some breakfast.
Scrambled eggs, apparently.
Scrambled eggs, and half an apple sliced up.
That's nice. Did you use one of the...
No,
No,
that was
you
not
just
a
used like a
single
knife.
workout, great.
You know what I'm talking about, the apple
I know,
slicer
yeah.
thing.
Oh, that looks like a
Yeah, it's like a little...
star or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make this weird.
No, you said I didn't know what you was talking about.
And
Well, that's the
chocolate
sound it
chip
makes.
Yes, and
Because I have an actual apple
And
peeler,
chocolate
like
cake?
you.
cakes. Ooh, that's fun.
The-
Chocolate-
The core
chocolate
slicer
chip
thing.
pancakes.
Oh,
So the apples were to balance out the chocolate.
the
chips.
chocolate.
be
That's how that
Pancakes,
works.
Yes.
That was the.
Does that work for diabetics too?
No.
No, because apples also have sugar.
No.
But even if they didn't,
That's fair. True dat.
we had a chocolate chip pancakes the other day, and then I'm supposed to make breakfast burritos tonight.
Is it because he's team burrito?
No, it's because I have pulled out sausage and I need to cook it.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna put eggs in that too?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll stay for dinner.
Okay.
What are you doing over there?
Putting the battery compartment thing back on.
Why'd you take it off?
I thought it'd be cool. Just trying to add to the content.
Okay.
Well, hold on a second. You said maybe I'll stay for dinner. How do you know you're not one that's
I
not
was gonna
supposed to
say
be here?
we're whittling down who's not supposed to be here.
Are you
Like,
hunting for clues?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's me.
no, I think I know who it is.
I'm assuming it's North.
I guess the world may never know.
I mean, clearly it's not that serious of a situation because they're here. Right?
For now,
Maybe it
you
is
better
me.
get that podcast room done real quick.
It is me.
Have you been doing your chores?
No.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh man,
Somebody else is supposed to be doing them, even though that person doesn't live here now either.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Who doesn't live here now?
The person who was supposed to be doing
No.
my chores.
We'll get into that later.
Okay.
Oh,
Fair enough. So Ditch was after that. Ditch is a good
Who
time.
won Scramble?
Scramble doesn't have a winner. You know that. I'll
feel
tell you
like I
this.
won
This is
Scramble.
actually you didn't. I'll tell you this is funny though. So I'm leaving the battlefield and they're like, I guess it was Valkyrie and Frecky, and they were like, all right, go back to the tavern. I'm like, I don't get one more res. And they're like, well, you already got your last res. Like, you didn't tell me I got my last res. I'm arguing with them about a game that does not matter. And then I was
I did the
standing there
same
with
thing.
I was standing there with Takimura, and he started arguing with them too about it, like just like jokingly, of course. And I was like, Taki, you do not argue with the marshals. And I thought it was funny.
Did they give you another res?
No,
Yeah.
well I was going Valnir, Trinity, Sarvok, like the whole group were up in the corner, right? And we all like kill each other all at the same time. And they go over and res. They come out of the res point, and I'm like standing at the other res point on the other side of the field. And Valnir shouts across the field, no more reses. I was like, dude, we died at the same time, and you guys are all walking out of the res point all at the same time. And he's like, okay, well, you can have one more. I said, who said no more reses? And he's like, the marshals. And I was like, I looked at Valkyrie, and she's like, go ahead.
I'll remember that.
Oh my.
Yeah, she knows what that means.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I got.
Anyways.
Either way, Scramble was a good time, though.
Everybody did the same thing, I think.
I don't know how long we did that, but it seemed like a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we do after that?
Ditch.
Yep. And the heroes won that one with Agama. And this is like where you're saying earlier is the team switch.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea of ditch is that whatever team, it's a best of 5, whatever team loses, they get to choose someone from the opposite team to come to their team.
Each
So
round.
this was really just the starting team, the starting heroes. So this may not be how it ended, but this was the starting team.
So the starting team was Agama, which was the captain, and then Lord Valnir, Takimura, Torvald, Raven, Roford, and Elizabeth.
So when I started this originally, because I started that event while you were saying goodbye to Lynn. Valnir came up to me and was like, you want me and Trinity to be the captains again? And I was like, sure. I just don't care, basically. I just want it to be even. And then we were about to start, and I was like, you know what? No. Actually, I'm going to choose 2 different captains. And so I chose, obviously, Agama was the one captain, and Karoff was the other captain. I just like to mix it up sometimes so we don't have the same captains all the time.
Did you ask Karoff if he wanted to be captain?
Nope.
Just curious. Okay.
Absolutely
he did
not.
Pretty much delegate it once he got over there to somebody else.
No, I didn't ask
But
at
then
all.
that
I said,
person
you're a captain.
And then that person got taken to the other team. So our like whole strategy from that person.
Was it your strongest player? I guess that's subjective. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
it
can't really
depends
ask that.
Right.
Depends on my opinion.
I mean, if you go by XP, yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair.
So
True that.
I was just curious.
I missed that one. The bathrooms are locked, so I do.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I had it under control.
In the first round of that ditch, there were some really good shots by Sarvak on my team.
Oh yeah, I even complimented one of his shots. It was sick.
One of them I was fighting Takimura and he hit him right in the hand, which I don't know if that's where he was aiming, but it was cool because he took Takimura was wielding a shield and a sword, so as soon as he lost his sword hand, he was done. I just chased him down and
I actually watched that kill. You hit his leg first. It would have been his left leg, but it was a right shot for you. And then you just kind of poked around till he was dead. It was nice.
I really have a lot of fun whenever Takimura is there. He brings the energy.
Yeah, every single week he is coming at me full tilt. Like, I challenge you. I'm like, you've challenged me 6 times a day, Takimura. 6.
Yeah.
And then at one point, it was probably during Scramble, he came up and stabbed me in the back. And we walked over to the res together because we had both died. And he's like, I don't count that one. And I'm like, you can count whatever you want, dude. It's all good.
Those are the only ones I get, so that's what I count.
Hey, you do what you got to do, man. I don't blame you. I stab North in the back constantly. Yeah. Anytime I get the chance, really.
Yeah, ditch, I think, started
in
out.
the back. Not from the back. Well, let's move on.
Anyway, the last game we played
Wait.
the last event we battled to the death.
No. I need to go all the way back to Scramble because I forgot to mention this.
Okay.
Mercer Stitch had a sick throwy kill on me today. I was I don't even know who I was engaged with. Valnir, I think. And I'm squaring off, and then all of a sudden I just feel something hit me, and I look over, and I know it's Mercer, and I'm like, dang it, I'm dead. But it was very nice. It was a very good kill. She was probably 15 feet away or so.
Yeah.
And this was also after I had made fun of her earlier in the day for throwing like a girl. So it was kind of karma, really.
Yeah.
And she was far enough away from you that you didn't really deem her as a threat, and then...
No, we were on total opposite sides of the field.
And even at some point, she made the comment, oh, I'm just here to even the odds because I was being 2v1'd, and I literally didn't see her as a threat. And then she got me. It hurt right here.
It hurt.
Actually, it hurt where she hit me with the hammer, which was really right over here. Anyway, that's why I stopped you. So you can keep going now if you want.
Thanks. I'm glad you appreciate being killed.
It was a great kill.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty awesome. What do you want me to say about it?
Are you counting your kills too?
No.
No. Do you think you have more or less than 8?
Today?
In period.
No, ever.
Yeah, ever.
More.
Oh, okay.
Doubt it.
You got some work to do.
Did you just say doubt it?
Yes.
I killed you today, too.
Ish.
Well, you just got some work to do.
Got lucky.
Maybe he could train you.
I'm a healer.
I believe in peace and tranquility. Interesting.
Have you thought about what class you're going to play?
No, not really.
Disappointing. What do you have, like a specific like weapon combination you like? Because I can narrow it down for you pretty good.
I'm not sure because I've only used the spear like a couple times. And I was still very, very new. And,
The spear has some success.
Do you just like the idea of the spear because you spin the sticks or whatever?
we can't like really spin the spear. I wish
True,
you had
but-
something that had like both ends, and then I could.
You could make one
That'd
with
be
both
You could make
ends.
something like that.
Sure.
Both
Okay.
ends are lethal.
Like a glaive.
I don't know that it would be as successful as you think it would be, though.
Both ends are lethal. I know. I mean, it's me. It's not going to be that successful, but
First off, you need more self-confidence. That's the first issue. If I was your clan lord, Wilhelm, I would fix that right away. You got to have more confidence in yourself. I'm the best. No one's better than me. I have more than 8 kills. I can't even count my kills anymore.
Do you have perfect form?
Sometimes.
Until he gets hit in the kidney.
Hey,
cocky.
well, I mean, arrogance and confidence is a real fine line,
It's like it's like stupidity and bravery.
Yeah.
There's a real
It's
fine line
real
there, too.
close there, I prefer to call it bravery. You call it whatever you want, I also wouldn't run like a little girl away from a snapping turtle, so it is what it is.
Would you know it's a snapping turtle?
Would you
Not until it snapped at me.
And then what? You just punch it or just?
Yeah, I'd punch it right in the face. Pa-pa!
run like a grown man?
Oh, because I said run like a little girl?
Yeah.
Was that offensive?
No, I mean, I was just asking.
I mean, it's just when he described what he did last week. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I watched it.
I was concerned.
Have you ever been snapped at by a snapping
Yes, I
turtle?
have. I mean, it sucks. Actually, I'll tell you, this is a
But
true
when your
story.
masculinity is at stake.
One time, I was on a John Deere 360, like a big one, and we had a lagoon at our old house, and I'm no fence around it or anything, and I'm cutting grass around the lagoon, and I hit something so hard that it broke the blades of the lawnmower. And it's a big lawnmower, and I see it dive into the lagoon, and it's a snapping turtle that's probably like this big, just snapped the blades right off from hitting the shell.
Damn.
Seems
So
like
they can be scary.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, they kind of are. I also recently saw on a podcast, I know this isn't relative to anything, that sharks are like 40 or 400 million years older than trees. Has anybody seen this?
Then just trees? The
Trees.
trees were like trees. Just like trees
Yeah.
were
Like
not
there hadn't
there
been a
when
branch.
sharks.
Right. Like they came from like a certain period that came 400 million years after sharks did.
I didn't hear that.
Look it up
So there's just a world
Right
of,
now?
if you want to.
a
No,
water
thanks.
world of like,
I could be making up the 400 million years part,
So
but
there'd
it's
still be-
certainly before.
He's
So
not
there's
saying
just
there wouldn't be
water?
plants, but the plants
Just
hadn't
not
evolved
trees.
into trees, basically.
but like even when you think of dinosaurs, you think of trees being there.
Well, just because you think of something doesn't mean it's true.
True. I think of a lot of stuff.
Same.
I heard that the horseshoe crab, the one that looks really crazy, it looks like a giant lice or something.
I have
That
no idea
that's-
what you're talking about.
That one is, they look really gross. They have like a big shell on their back, and it doesn't even look like a crab.
Like when you say crazy crab, I instantly thought of that crab from Moana.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
I don't either, but he sings and he's awesome.
Yeah, he's purple and or blue.
So you don't even know his color.
Yeah, no,
Shiny.
Yeah, that guy.
right. Anyway, you derailed my whole.
Sorry.
Horseshoe crabs.
Yeah,
They
that
look
they're
creepy.
unevolved for like so many, like they're the same day as they were for like a jubillion years ago or whatever.
Jabillion.
Yes,
Nice.
How many zeros is that?
a lot.
More than 8.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry.
I just thought it was interesting.
Couldn't help
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Do you know there's like 5 or 6 different types of creature that has evolved into a crab-like shape.
I think I have to fact check this. This seems kind of wild.
What do you mean?
Like that they've independently evolved into have a crab shape. Like
Can you
they have,
eat
like,
all of them?
two
Are they all
claws,
technically like
and they have,
crustaceans?
like a center body with like
So
legs.
this is the ideal body type. This is what we're headed
Right.
to, huh?
It's like the evolutionary peak.
I mean, how many legs do they have?
Total? I mean, I don't know. They got some legs on the bottom and 2 big claws, I think, is the main identifying.
It's like a decent defense.
Yeah. Maybe it has to do with... Well, I don't know. But I've heard this.
Are you being a crab? You should make that the thumbnail.
Okay. Nice.
So what do we do after that?
We went home. Oh, no.
No,
played
we didn't. We had one
Assassin's-
more.
You're right. We played Assassin's Creed.
I will say, so to get into this a little bit, there was a player who wasn't really participating today. I think they may have been too cold. I don't really exactly know what the situation was there. And I went up to them during ditch, and I said, you have until the end of this event to tell me what we're playing next, what event we're going to do next. And they were like, okay, I'll tell you by the end. And then we were in the last round, maybe the round before the last round, because I said something to you. To give you time to set it up or whatever. Anyway, she came.
Yeah.
So this person came over to me. Was like, I want to play Assassins, and I knew what she meant. I was like, okay, cool. That's a good event. I'm happy with that. So I told Mercer, I'm like, hey, after this, we're all going to get together, try to nail this down. She's like, well, I'll just start it now. And I guess you and Frecky worked on it. Mm-hmm. And I went over there, and every single person who could potentially play was already lined out on the table. It was beautiful. And I thought it went really smooth the way we did it today.
Yeah, the setup and everything went real smooth today, I think, for that game. Because sometimes, I guess the people listening, most of them play with us, so they know that sometimes the setup on that one takes a little longer, and it was awesome.
And it can get messed up, too. And, like, the way we did it by, like, you don't grab your name until I put you down, It was just perfect.
Right.
I think Rose also helped with that.
Well, thank you, Rose, as well.
Yeah, like eliminated the potential for it to take a really long time because of something that we messed up with the badges or whatever with the setup of it. So it did go a lot smoother.
Yeah, and I think it works out a lot better, too, having them grab their own name. That way you know that each person has one name badge. There's the right number of them. Everybody's lined up where they're supposed to be. So,
And actually, I'll tell you something kind of funny about that is me and Mercer and Taki Mora were sitting there before the event started, before we even had names. And Taki was looking at me, and we were just kind of talking crap to each other. I told Taki Mora, I said, I hope I get your name. And he looked at me and said, I hope I get your name. And then I got Taki Mora's name, which was just perfect. But then he ran for me for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and he kept chasing me for a very,
That's
very
because
long
he had
time.
your name.
Right.
This is kind of a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, he said something about coming to chase me or get me or whatever from the beginning of it. He was chasing me around the whole time.
I know I'd see Taki Morris start running like in my direction. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to sidestep over here away from Daveen.
At one point when he was chasing me, I just took his leg. And, like, I guess he was, like, you said he was still getting away from you even with one leg.
Well, I wasn't running I was just literally walking at him, like kind of like Michael Myers does, with his victims. That's how I'm going to look at it. And I was just walking in a circle, and he was just doing the sidestep thing for so long. I mean, up and around, probably 8 times. I'm kind of envious of his. I said, you can die, or you can die tired.
Yeah.
And he chose to die tired.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, after I took that leg, because he was chasing me, and I hit his leg, and then I just, like, walked off. And he was like, hey, come back, what the heck? And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
Just wanted to take your leg.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped me in the long run.
Well, good for you.
I feel like somebody eventually took his second leg, and he was
He's
stuck.
the one that had a long run.
Yeah. Yeah, I just literally walked in a circle for a while. But either way, I just found it ironic that we were talking all that crap to each other beforehand, and then I got his name.
I think he actually even said something about having North's name because he was saying something about vampires and like talking crap. So it's
Yeah,
funny
he
that
basically
wanted-
said if he didn't get my name, he wanted your name, and he got your name. So it was just kind of interesting how that happened.
He's got something against vampires.
He's got something against elves, too. Watch yourself. He challenges me every week 6 times a day.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
He doesn't challenge
Does
me
he
very
win?
often anymore.
Not yet.
We just talk crap.
He's beaten me before, though, like in a scramble or something. It's not impossible. Anyway, let's talk about Assassin's Creed, how that works and what happened.
Okay, so for Assassin's Creed, I guess you kind of explained it a little bit. Just from the context, you could figure out we each have a card, and then what you do is you go out on the field, spread out, and then you can only, what you're trying to do is verify the kill. So the badges that we have in the beginning are all randomly split up between everybody. So everybody that's playing has a badge. The badges get randomly split up between everybody. Then
it'll have another player's name on it. At least it should.
Right.
So if we're both playing, or all four of us are playing, I may have North may have Mercer may have Lynn may have me, and it's just kind of this game where you're trying to kill your person or your target while not getting killed by the person who's targeting you. That's essentially the game.
Right. And I guess I haven't played this one a whole lot before. I've just watched it because it's been like a newer game or whatever.
Yeah.
But today when I played it, I thought it was pretty interesting because you are looking
yeah.
out for who is after you, but at the same time, you're kind of not trying to make it like terribly obvious about
I
who
do.
you're after.
It just really depends on what strategy you want to use. So like when I get a name, I just start marching at that person the entire time. I want to make them feel so uncomfortable. And then obviously you're still keeping an eye out for anyone
Whoever
who
has
continually gets closer to you on a regular basis. Like, I'll be honest, today I thought for sure Trinity had me as a contract at first because he just kept getting close to me. And then obviously it turned out to be Valnir. I figured out at some point it was Valnir, and I'm like, okay, well, that sucks because I know how that fight's going to go. But, you know.
You didn't have to, because I wound up looting Trinity and getting Valnir's name.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to have to fight him eventually anyway.
And then you had me, and I was doing circles around Valnir.
Yeah, she was running around Valnir in a circle. It was pretty wild.
And also just to explain, if you end up with your own name, then anybody that kills you gets to close the contract if they can loot you. So so basically you don't have a target, you don't have anybody after you, but you don't have to go after anybody either, but you're a higher risk of getting permanently eliminated from the game. If anybody kills you and loots you, you're eliminated.
Right.
So
what typically happens is at the very end of the game, whether it be 2 or 3 people, they will have each other's names. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you get killed, it's over.
What's your strategy, Mercer, for if you end up with your own name?
If I end up with my own name?
Yes. What do you do?
Watch my back. Try not to die.
That's it, though?
Yeah.
You just kind of stand back and don't
I don't
engage?
know that I don't think I've ever gotten my own name. I don't think I've ever gotten my own name.
I have.
What would you do?
I don't know.
I'm kind of stupid when I get my own name. I still try to go bother people. Because I get bored. I just want to stand there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fun to me. I would rather die.
I think what I would... Go ahead. What were you about to say?
I think maybe, honestly, what I would probably do, which sounds really bad, but I would just pick off people that weren't paying attention, that I felt like I couldn't fight, that they would be able to kill me one-on-one a lot easier. Like when they're distracted and they're busy trying to get their target or whatever.
I mean, you say it sounds bad, but you're a rogue.
Yeah.
Like, that's what rogues are really supposed to do.
But
Yeah.
what
See,
would you be
maybe.
doing that? Go ahead.
That's my general strategy. I'm like, oh.
Just turn around. Don't pay attention to me.
Because if I kill them and then I run off, whoever has them as their target is going to come up and try to loot them. And they're just
Like
going to
when
eliminate that
would you just
person
let it
anyway.
happen?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Because
Like
then it
when
would eliminate that person.
If you see somebody trying to loot somebody and you're... Like, also, aren't you going to eventually have to fight that person? Like, I was stopping people from looting people when I thought that maybe it was somebody I wouldn't want to fight. Like, I'm like, no, I'm going to stop that guy.
Yeah, no, that's not how I look at it.
If they're eliminating somebody that I feel like I don't want to fight,
No, I mean, the person looting is eliminating a person. Like, I don't really want to fight the person looting, but I don't want them to get any closer to winning. So I'll interrupt them.
See,
it depends on who it is.
See, for me, it don't. I just want them eliminated. I don't care who it is. Like, I know I'm going to have
Just
to
whoever's
fight
on
the
your
good
badge.
players eventually. Yeah, I'd literally just hunt my contract and that's it. Granted, now that I've said this out loud, I might have to change up my strategy.
I just attempt not to die.
Mm.
I'm still at that level, so
If
don't die.
I guess I haven't been able to implement this too much, but for me in that game, if I end up with my own badge, I try to actually give it to somebody I think I can beat.
Yeah, but then if that person gets beat...
You kind of have to keep an eye on them, yeah, because they might get beat by
to
somebody
be
else
fair,
pretty
I've done
easy.
that before. I found out who had my contract, and I wasn't worried about it, and I would chase people off of that person.
Right.
But that's like a whole different scenario.
True.
And sometimes it's hard to find out who's got your contract. Some people are like real coy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody just marches at people, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't. I try to throw people off. I'll go after somebody I don't even have a contract on, just to throw off the person I do have it for.
I will say this. So basically you were saying you enjoyed the game. You don't normally get to participate in it, but it's something you enjoyed. I really enjoy that game too. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite games at LARP. The setup's a little annoying, just a little bit. But like once we get going, one of the best games we have in my opinion.
Cool. Thank you, Chat GTP, GPT,
Yeah.
whichever.
Yeah. Setup's getting a little bit easier every time we do it.
True.
So anyway, the winners for that, we should get into that
Oh,
probably. In third place was actually North. In second place was Lord Wilhelm. And in first place was Lord Valnir. And, excuse me, that's Chancellor North.
That's right. Magistrate, Chancellor,
You're not getting all that. You
Okay.
choose. What do you want?
Lord. I don't know.
No.
No, Chancellor's
You
fine.
could have originally, if you would have set it up right, you could have been like Lord Commander. That would have been cool. But you didn't. So
And now it's too late.
so you want to be Magistrate or Chancellor?
Chancellor.
Okay, Chancellor North. But yeah, that was good. It's a good
Like
time.
Palpatine.
Whoa.
Wow. You know what I think it's time for?
Mercer's
Mercer's
Extraordinary Stitches!
I was just going to go with whichever one y'all threw out first.
I mean, you brought it up, so I assumed you were ready for
Yeah,
yours.
we were hoping that was the case.
Yeah.
So, for this week, I have this or that or would you rather.
Oh, do you remember that song
What?
with the, it was for the Kia Souls with the hamsters? It was like, you can get with this or you can get with that. I think I'll get with this because this is where it's at. You remember that song?
No, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I have that on CD.
Dude. It was like doo-dop-dippity. It was pretty cool. Look it up. I'm not
Okay.
making this up.
I'm going to because it sounds bananas.
It is. It's almost made me want to buy a Kia Soul, which are kind of lame.
My grandma has one of those.
See?
All right. So, I'll just throw them out there and you guys can tell me which one you would rather do. So, would you rather dual wield or use sword and board?
Board
Okay,
band
Dual
shield.
wheel.
Yeah, I mean, like, in what context? Like, with all the abilities in, with no abilities?
No abilities.
No, sword and board, for sure.
Sword and board.
I would dual wheel.
Me too.
I'll tell you this. This is a cool story. And by cool story, I mean kind of lame, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So, at some point today during Scramble, I got disarmed. And I was fighting Valnir. And Sarvok felt bad for me. So, he threw me his short sword. So, I had two swords to fight Valnir against. And he picked up my shield. And I was like, now we need to fight. You know what I mean? Like, you use my shield, and I'll use your sword, and we'll see who can win this. But then he was wrecking people with my shield, dude. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, he was doing really well with it. And, I mean, I don't know if I could have beat him.
I guess I missed that. I didn't
And
see
for
him with a
context,
shield
he's a
today.
ranger, so
Yeah.
normally he doesn't wield a shield.
Well, during Scramble, though, like, we're not super picky on
Sure.
what kind of weapons people are using.
I was just saying why it was unusual for him to be good at it when
Right.
he doesn't usually use one.
I just
Did he
feel
use one
like...
before when he was the other class?
I don't
think he
think
dual wielded.
so. Yeah, I think he's always been a dual wielder. But my thought process behind that is that it's just easier. It's easier to cover up like issues with your fighting style. I think with a sword and board, I think it's almost like easy mode.
Yeah, whenever you're talking about specifically skill, no abilities or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the reason I would say dual wield is so that I would have. I don't like the disadvantage of when I lose an arm, I don't have another way to do anything.
I will say
Okay.
that does happen to me a lot. If I'm fighting shield sword and my sword arm gets taken, I'm dead.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know that I would mind using a shield if I had the physical ability to do it. But like my arms, I can't carry a shield and wield it around like that.
Some of them can
my
get
arms are
pretty
too
light.
weak.
That's true.
It's just something
Something
about
to think about.
holding your arm in the same position like that, though. It's just me.
No, I get it.
All right. Next one is, would you rather be a cleric or a paladin?
Do we have any other context?
Nope. Your character, would you rather your character be a cleric or a paladin?
Can I get a slight
Like
definition?
description.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say as a general rule, clerics have, of course, there's like two different branches, right? But like at least holy clerics have like more healing stuff. They've got revives. They've got some stuff like that. It's more based around healing, really. And paladins are kind of like knockoff versions as far as the healing ability, but they have more offensive abilities, and they have some armor and stuff like that, but their healing abilities aren't nearly as good. I don't think they can revive anyone at any point. So it's kind of like what you want there. Also, a paladin can use up to a 40-inch sword with a shield if they wish, whereas a cleric can only use a 30-inch sword.
Okay.
Also, a lot of paladin abilities, they can only use on, like he was saying, like a lot of them only target other people, not yourself.
Yeah, like you can heal allies, but not yourself. Whereas like a healer can heal themselves, or cleric.
Also, did you get a chance to answer the last question? Did you answer that
I
one?
said sword and
Oh,
shield.
okay. I was just curious. I didn't know if we skipped over you.
No, I heard her.
Okay.
What did you choose? Sword and board?
Dole.
Really? So we have 2 dual wielders and 2 sword and boards? Well, maybe next week we'll have 2 sword and boards and two dual wielders, and we'll see who wins.
Maybe.
What do you think about that? You down with that?
I've never wielded a board,
You could do it.
so
I'll be on your team. It'll be fine.
okay. Okay.
Be on your team?
He's gonna.
Yeah, it would be
take
us
up the
2
slack.
versus you 2.
No, we got this in the bag.
Oh crud!
No, don't listen. Don't let them scare you. What did I say about confidence?
Take the fall, or else.
I actually thought that you could like square off with her.
Get into the mic.
You could square off with her. I'll square off with him, and then I'll come help you after I deal with him.
True. Because he won't. Yeah. Because he could throw it with me. So throw the fight.
So you would just rather deal with him?
I would just be like,
Do you think he would do it?
yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's how we'll do it then.
If I apply enough pressure, yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll see.
Oh.
Sounds like a challenge.
That's how I heard it.
We'll just see about that.
So cleric or paladin?
Cleric. I think the cleric abilities are really good. And now that I've gotten used to using kind of a shorter sword, I realize that the lack of length can be made up for with the speed. Hey, calm down over there. Sometimes you just got to use what you're given, okay? In this case, a 30-inch weapon.
I mean, it's a choice. Cleric or paladin?
Cleric.
What are you going with?
Does it matter what?
These are supposed to be speed questions.
I know.
Fine. Paladin,
He always does
but
this.
Death Knight, I wouldn't pick. Not because of the Holy Paladin stuff.
It's fair. To be fair, I've played a Holy Paladin. I've never played a cleric. My first character was a Holy Paladin. He was a jerk.
All right, the rest of these you got to answer without thinking too much about.
Yeah, North.
After we
Okay.
get
All right,
Lynn's
I'm ready.
answer to that, cleric or
Oh.
paladin.
Paladin.
All right,
Based on the little I know.
we're going to start with you first. Would you rather use a bow or throwies?
Throwies.
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 And the reason I say that is because with throwies, at least you can hold a sword. With the bow, it requires both hands.
The
and then,
reloading and everything, right?
I've used a bow. I've never got to use throwies. I think that would be really cool. Anyway, continue on. I know there's supposed to be quick answers.
Would you rather lose both legs or one arm?
One arm.
One arm.
Both legs.
Because the shield.
Because of the shield, yeah.
Just gonna-
I'm going to say one arm, I think.
I'm not very mobile anyway. I'm probably the slowest out of all of us.
Yeah. That's true. I can't run very fast. I don't know. Would you rather fight a wizard or a rogue?
At what level?
Both level 1.
Because they both have.
A wizard.
They both have throwies, right?
Wizards suck at level 1.
Yeah, wizard.
Thanks. Wizard.
Wizard does have a throwy, but they have like a limited use throwy, and plus
Okay.
their weapon doesn't even damage you. So
Yeah. I was gonna go with wizard because of that.
They would essentially have to like hit you lethal with their staff and then use the throwy.
mm-hmm.
So as a shield user, that's probably not going to happen.
Fair. Would you rather be the lord of a clan of all first level players, or be in a clan of vets but you cannot be the lord?
Gosh, this is an ego question.
I don't want to be a lord. I don't want to be a clan lord.
I would
But
choose
it's a-
lord.
It's a clan of vets, but you're not the lord. I would pick that one.
Yeah, me too.
And then I would
As
just
well.
have a lot of suggestions for my lord.
How do you know, though, if to be fair, if you were in a clan with a bunch of vets, the likeliness of your lord being fairly successful is probably pretty good. Because a bunch of vets aren't going to fight for somebody that's not. So that's a way to look at it, too. But I would still choose lord.
And just mold them into
the ego.
I can't help it.
Would you rather fight someone that's short or someone that's tall?
Short.
I would say short, but I mean, most people I fight are shorter than me, so I actually think it's kind of enjoyable to fight somebody tall, like just because it's such an unusual experience. Like whenever that one guy, Little John, would come out, and he'd be like, he had like a Galactus helmet on, and he was like 8 feet tall. I was like, dude, I'm fighting that guy.
He was not 8 feet tall, but he was very tall. He was probably like 6'8" or something crazy.
He was very tall.
Yeah.
I even tried to
Short.
jump off the wall of the amphitheater to try to get around his shield and stab him at one point.
Yeah, he was, again,
Did not work.
basically
but
a giant.
You tried, though.
yeah,
So my reasoning,
it was fun.
to be fair, for fighting a short person over a tall person is basically just their lack of reach.
That's what
Oh,
I
that
would
makes
say,
sense.
too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
But how much are you gonna? Okay, but you're saying, would you rather shite? You'd rather
I'd rather not.
fight a short person, but you're not going to learn anything from that fight either, right? Like you're just saying, who would I rather fight based on who I would win the easiest against,
yeah,
right?
that's how I interpreted that question,
'Cause when I
especially
fought the
if I'm
tall
using
guy-
a 30-inch sword. Weird.
my.
If I'm using a 30-inch sword, fighting someone really tall is very disadvantageous to me.
That's
Like,
true.
that's very hard.
That's true.
And I feel the same way when I'm fighting someone that has a pole arm. It's like nearly impossible to get in there with a 30-inch weapon. But anyway,
You
Anyway.
just got to be quick, like you said.
I'm not that quick.
He's very quick.
Would you rather use a boffer or a sword?
Boffers are swords.
A duct tape sword or a boffer?
So I've done both. So when I played a ranger, I had these really cool black longswords. Did you remember these?
Yeah.
And they were exactly 40 inches, and they weren't too bad as far as weight. But the problem with those is they were expensive, and they didn't last that long. They were latex
A lot
weapons,
of maintenance. And,
a lot of maintenance. I had to like rub them down every day with basically like the spray that came with them, like some latex spray,
conditioning.
basically.
It was like a conditioning spray.
Yeah, and it was a lot of work, and then they still only lasted like 6 months, and they were probably like $80 a piece. So I was spending $160 every 6 months to buy these swords. They looked cool, and in the nighttime they were black. In the nighttime they were very difficult to fight because you couldn't see them. But as far as like cost effectiveness, I like the boffers.
I'm a big fan of the duct tape ones, even despite the speed difference. I know that there is a speed difference, but I just like the way they look better. It's like
Even when
it's
they
an
have,
aesthetic
like,
thing.
They have blue tape on them, and it say Phlarp across it, all that. Like you still prefer
No,
that?
I would prefer it be like actually sort of look like a real sword still, like with the silver blade and stuff. I don't really want to sacrifice the look to have a gaudy
I will say this. I know this is not relative to
or
what we're doing right
sacrifice the
now.
weight to have a crazy weapon.
Did you see Karoff's axe today that he
Yeah.
made? So I gave him a golf club shaft, and I was like, "This is probably the best core. This is how you need to cap it." Blah 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 blah. I thought he did a wonderful job for his first weapon.
Yeah.
And he actually like used this softer foam on the end, like the big like squishy foam. Didn't hurt at all. It was wonderful. I thought he did a great job. Anyway, shout out to Karoff.
Yeah, I agree.
So you answered.
Axe looked awesome. Axe looked awesome. What?
Boffer sword. You said sword. I said boffer. What do you think?
You said his axe looked awesome.
It
Good
did.
axe, Karoff.
Nice axe.
I would choose boffer.
Yeah.
They're nice and I like simple things.
Yeah. They're quick. Real quick too.
I like the boffers because
I was
they're
gonna-
light.
I was gonna say you use boffers, so and didn't you had somebody make those for you, didn't you?
Yeah, Gregor made those.
Speaking of which, Gregor, where are you?
True.
We need you. We need the big guy. That's a Wedding Crashers quote, but you guys probably didn't realize that.
All right. Would you rather fight 2 new players at a time or 1 veteran player?
So this is why.
Why not?
No, like
2 new players.
I'm going to say a veteran player because, in my reasoning being, I would prefer to get the veteran player off the field for the new players.
Oh, so once he just wants to win, and now he wants to.
Right.
Listen, I am full of these, differing
Nuances?
opinions or whatever,
Just-
Plus, I mean, really, I said earlier that I wanted to fight the person that was more of a challenge based
to
on
get more
somebody that I wouldn't
experience.
learn
Now
something.
you're doing the opposite
Yeah,
too.
now I'm like, oh, it would look really cool, though, if I fought those new people.
I like fighting new people, not necessarily to like be like, oh, I killed the new person and I just got that win or whatever. But
That's exactly
it's
why
more,
I'm doing it.
For me, it's more like I talk to them while we're doing it, so that
Like talking crap.
no, like if it was me fighting 2 new players, I would be like split up in circle and then try to fight.
would
them.
tell them
like
how
I
to
would
beat
tell
you?
them, yeah. Because new players aren't going to learn if they don't have somebody teaching
They
them
learn from
something.
experience, Mercer.
If they go out there and do the
Why
same thing
can't- you
over
should
and over,
kill
Do you
them,
think I'm
right?
going to tell Takimura how to defeat me? No, I'm just going to continue to
he's
beat
not
him
a
down.
new player.
Yes, he is. He's only been there for a few months, and he only shows up probably 50% of the time. I would consider him a new player, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah, he's fairly new. He's not like a veteran. I wouldn't consider him a veteran.
He hasn't been here that much
He
longer
may
than
not
Lynn.
be. He may
Yeah,
not be
I'm
like
surprised.
brand new, where he knows a little bit, but he's also. I wouldn't consider him a vet. So
No, well, yeah.
I'm a vet, but not a vet.
I don't know. The question was
But,
more like newer than talking.
But what I'm saying is, why couldn't you just kill him, look awesome, and then turn around and go, hey, you guys should have circled around me and whatever.
I'm not doing either of that. I'm going to let him learn.
Maybe I'm just not that much of an asshole.
I'm gonna fight the
Dang.
new players, but that's because I'm gonna learn from the new players.
I
too.
will say
So
sometimes
I'm
it is-
at that level, so yeah.
It is fun sometimes to fight new players to like judge their skill. I will say that. Like I want to learn what kind of skill they have because to be fair, one time we had this guy coming out named Bones who was new to us, not new to LARPing, and he used to beat the brakes off of me. This guy was really good. I mean, probably the best LARPer I've ever fought as far as just hand combat. He was amazing. You remember that guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably the best LARPer I've ever fought.
I don't know. You could also say that I'm a veteran player, but I'm not a very good fighter. So there's both ends of
Yeah,
the
but maybe
spectrum.
you
So
do
you can
role
be
play
one of the
better
people that
and-
I destroy whenever
You can't destroy me.
Is that a
you're a
challenge?
new player.
Listen, I have yet to actually have a battle to the death with Norse because someone stabs us in the back. It'll either be him or me every single time. Somebody will stab one of us in the back every time.
Anyway,
That's all I have for that. I actually have some more, but we're done with that. I do have the question for this week, though.
yeah, throw it in there.
If you don't LARP now, how do you imagine your first day at LARP? And if you do LARP now, how was your first day at LARP? It's this
I actually
week's
have a
question.
story for this. I'll have to write a whole story up in the comments. But stay tuned.
Oh, yeah?
So
Yeah.
did we tuck the question for my thing for next week kind of at the end of yours, right?
Yep, sure
Okay.
did.
So that's been Mercer.
Mercer's Extraordinary Stitches! Woo! It looks like you might be ready. Is that what
I am
I'm
ready.
getting on? So it's time for
Norse
Feedback Frenzy!
Good job.
It was an interesting wink. Wait,
Okay.
wait. Should I keep with the trend of asking you if you need help every single week?
Yeah. Just
Do you need help?
You got that?
It looks like he might need help.
Is there a lot of comments?
no. I'm trying to find the live chat comments, but I can't seem to find them on.
He does need help.
He literally needs help. I don't know if I even have access to that, though. To be fair,
Okay, well, I'll just read the regular ones. Okay, so the question last week was, does the heater make a difference on you coming out or not? Is this, sorry, I'm just trying to figure which way it goes. Okay, so the first one comes from Daveen, it says, like I said on the podcast, having a heater doesn't change if I would come out or not. With that being said, it is certainly something I've grown to appreciate.
True dat.
And then also, I guess we did mention a few other questions. This was the main question, but I'll go ahead and just read this other response because it was to one of the other questions we asked during the podcast. It just wasn't the main question. It was about Shield Bash, and this response comes from Lord Reese. It says, I definitely like the Shield Bash ability, but I think it should be on a higher level for the selected classes. It was about when you hit somebody's weapon with your shield, or they hit their shield with their weapon, you can yell Shield Bash, and then
Was that the deflective
disarms.
or the reflective ability? Because we kind of talked about there being two, right? Like, we talked about both maybe needed just because of the amount of like champion warrior
Yeah, I think we talked about
destructive
both of them,
abilities.
Mhm.
So I don't remember which Shield Bash was.
I think we talked about a few different versions of it, but I don't know, I guess, which one he's necessarily responding to. But
Fair enough.
And then the next one comes from Mercer Stitch. It says, I would obviously be there either way, but the heater is a major bonus. Also, either type of gravy. Okay, that was the other question we asked, was white or brown gravy.
To be fair, like no one answered that question. Very
That's not
disappointing. Okay, well you answered the question.
Somebody else did too. I read it.
Okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
It says, either type of gravy is fine as long as it's not runny. However, I prefer ranch and Frank's Red Hot with my chicken strips.
Didn't I make you that meal? Was it after we talked about that?
With the white gravy?
Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair,
I think-
his answer would be biased. We can't accept his answer as, unless it's in my favor, then I could accept it.
That's fair. And then the next one comes from Heston. It says, I'd show up regardless of the heater, but it does make things less rough during the winter. Heston. And then the next one comes from
Heston.
Valnir. That says, I am not the one who wrote this, but I know who did write it, and he is talking about moving it over to Defender Warrior because apparently his thought is that you guys think the abilities is what makes the polearm broken. So I'm not sure.
I talked to somebody, without giving any names. The person that wrote that comment last week came up to me, approached me about it, and basically their thought process was if they switched shield back and moved polearm to the other one, that maybe the abilities would be less broken because the polearm wouldn't be able to be used with the champion ability, with the champion abilities. But the reason we moved the shield in the first place is because everyone was choosing champion warrior because they got a shield in combination with those broken abilities. So it doesn't really fix anything, and I kind of explained that that I liked it in theory, just I don't think it would work, basically.
But and you did understand it more once they explained it like that.
Yeah, they were and they were simply saying that we take the polearm away from champion warrior, move it to defender warrior, give champion warrior back shields, is what they were saying. And I just explained that wouldn't work, and this is why. And then I did go ahead and explain to them that though nothing was official, it seems as if we are leaning in the direction of just creating some different abilities and putting them in some of the shield classes in order to balance it out a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of thought is what we're at least leaning towards. Not that we have decided that officially or anything, but... So yeah, that's that.
Okay. And then the next one comes from Karoff. It says, I don't think the heater would have an effect on my decision to come to Phlarp, but it does sound like it would be greatly appreciated. If I use gravy with my chicken fingies, it would be white, but I usually like honey mustard.
I do like honey mustard,
True.
but I'm not appreciating the white gravy comments.
And then the next one comes from
You can do this.
Lord Wilhelm.
Okay.
It says, having the heater or not is not going to prevent me leading the Dawn Phoenix weekly. Last week, where I pushed until my strength gave out and I had no fight left in me, has been the norm for 5 kingdoms. Why would this be any different? Okay. So he just goes until he can't go, regardless of the heater, I guess. And then the last one comes from Trinity. Oh, there might be more. But this one comes from Trinity. It says, whether the heater is out or not won't sway me either way. It is nice to see, but I don't like being that close to people. So he wouldn't stand under it, I guess, either way.
Oh, there's another thing, though. He did come in and say, and brown gravy with chicken strips.
Oh, is that the other reply there?
Almost
yeah.
missed that one.
I see.
Thank you,
Brown-
Trinity.
Yep.
Thank you.
I like brown gravy with potatoes.
I like brown gravy with most things.
And stuffing. I prefer brown gravy like at Thanksgiving over turkey gravy.
I don't agree. It depends. It depends. Are we talking like turkey gravy out of a can or like homemade turkey gravy?
Either way.
With or without the giblets?
Ugh, without. Gross.
Anyway, continue on.
Was that it?
That was it.
Well, there was, let's see.
Unless there's another one there. There's a few comments, but I didn't know
They're
if
not
they were-
relative to the question.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So that was Norse Feedback Frenzy. So proud of you. That's pretty good, really.
What?
Norse Feedback Frenzy. It just
Cool.
seemed to like roll a little bit smoother than it normally does.
Nice.
That was smooth.
I mean, relative to some of the
Good
other
job.
ones.
Thanks.
I feel like you just got roasted a little.
I detect a hint of sarcasm.
Well, I tell you, I'm ready for
Oh, I forgot.
Daveen's Corner. There it is. You forgot about my segment? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I mean, all the way up until I remembered it.
What are you looking at over here?
Nothing.
That this ad has like almost naked women on it?
I am now.
They're not really naked, just to be clear. They're just to show everyone here. It's just a Pinterest thing. Okay?
Okay.
Anyway.
Pinterest.
Hey. Anyway.
I'm ready to laugh.
What is on your Pinterest?
I mean, it's just an ad for Pinterest. I don't actually have a Pinterest.
He does.
Anyway. First thing. Why do women talk so much? And why do guys think so much?
I don't know. I can answer this, but it's not going to be the right answer.
Because
It's a double-
it's hard for them. It's hard for men to think. It's hard for women to get a word in.
Yeah, no. What do you got? Anything?
I have no idea.
Okay, so the answer is because one has two lips and one has two heads.
Oh.
Ba-dum.
That's not what I was thinking.
All right, let's see what else I got here. Okay.
I still prefer my answer.
What's the difference between a blonde and a washing machine? A washing machine doesn't follow me home after I dump my load in it. But
Hopefully, well, I mean, mine's already in my home, so.
all right,
Stalking you
I
from
got
the
one more for
closet.
today. One more.
Oh,
I'm doing 3 today.
a 3 for.
Wait, hold on. 3. Why? No, excuse me. I already messed it up. Let me retract. What do you call 2 lesbians in a closet?
What?
I don't know.
A liquor cabinet. And that was Daveen's Corner. Woo! Woo! It's like Ric Flair.
Yeah, that's the old Ric
I
Flair
feel like
woo.
I need to come up with like
Is that guy
reverse
alive?
sexist jokes just to like.
No, they asked for
Bounce
these. They asked for these. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you should. You should come up with some reverse sexist ones.
I actually think that they would be funny too. So
We can.
any jokes added to the podcast, I'm good with.
Sweet.
Yeah, what's the opposite? I guess it'd be like feminist. What's the opposite of
I
misogynist?
can't be
Feminist.
Emily's corner. It can be Lynn's.
I mean, you can come up with that later. We talked about Mercer's name for a while.
It got changed a few times.
Nice.
Wasn't it at one point it was just like Mercer's thing?
Thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Mercer's thing.
And then we had Mercer's Fun and Games.
That one wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I do like this one. This one's clever. And you said that this was actually a suggestion via one of our players, right?
Correct.
Which
Yep.
was Lord Valnier?
Yep.
Love it. Did we have anything left?
I just want to say thanks for everybody for the support and everything of Phlarp and everything, and I just appreciate everybody coming out every week, even if that's all you do is come out every week. Cool, appreciate it.
It's true.
Yeah.
I get sad when there's there's people that I feel like I've formed a connection with, like via like they're my friend, or we're a big family, and then I just don't see them for a long period of time. It makes me sad.
Yeah, like Joseph
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
literally
wondering
was somebody
what
that was in
happened.
my head. Joseph, Gregor, Vix.
Even Lucian, I don't know where
Yeah.
he's been for a while now.
Yeah.
True, and I like having people in the tavern to talk to when I sit out of a game.
And maybe it's just the cold. Maybe
It could be.
Maybe. If you're out there, hopefully you show back up.
We miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also one more thing. If you have any ideas on what you think we should do with the podcast that we're not already doing, let us know in the comments. We're curious how to make this better.
True.
Even if it's just for the...
Yeah, like a dance
Players.
segment.
If that's not the thumbnail, it
I
is
don't know
now.
what is. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, obviously none of us have ever done this before. We're doing the best we can. Some of us, well, I'll just talk about myself. I feel like I'm not super charismatic. This is not something that I feel like I'm like super good at. If you have any suggestions on, games we could play or segments we could do in order to make things more entertaining, just let us know, please.
Yeah, or just whatever. Think outside the box, even if it's something we ain't even really considered. I want some feedback if I can get it from anybody about whatever we could do to improve it. So that's all I had.
All right.
Well, we hope you keep listening.
And
We hope.
you keep fighting.
You didn't prep me this
in
time.
the name of our capital, Darvishan. And
We hope to see you all next week.
bye.